Given the fact that the human skin is transparent, especially its upper layers, we are able to see what happens under it. We certainly see the pigment if it is inserted at an angle. It will look like a small blur on the surface. The lower the angle of the handpiece, the greater the risk of migration. So why do we use different angles of the handpiece? As I've already said, skin is transparent, especially the upper layers. If you want to perform the finest lines, then in that case, the angle of the handpiece should be 90 degrees, which is completely perpendicular to the skin surface. I practically never use an angle of 45 degrees. My working angles are between 80 to 60 degrees. In this video, I would like to show you how to make lines with different angles of the handpiece. The first line is made with an angle of 45 degrees. Movement is in one direction at the same speed. The next line now is made with an angle of 60 degrees. And the last line with a 90 degrees, or in other words, perpendicular. You can see that the thinnest line turns out to be the most delicate if you use an angle of 90 degrees, the last line. If we use an angle of 45 degrees on the skin, there is a great risk of migration. That is why I recommend using an angle between 60 to 90 degrees. This example shows the behavior of pigment underwater when we use different angles of the handpiece. For example, 90 degrees. Please pay attention to the pigment direction. The pigment moves to the same direction as the needle is showing. And in this instance, if we use an angle of 45 degrees, we can also see that the pigment follows the same angle. The same thing happens under the skin. Do you remember my words about working with reliefs? When working with reliefs, the handpiece should be held perpendicular to the skin surface. Only if you use an angle of 90 degrees do you have a chance of not inserting the pigment too deeply and to get fine lines after healing. Since in almost all cases the eyebrow area has a relief, and this fact causes more difficulties when working in these areas, it is necessary to reduce pressure and stretch the skin in the right direction.